Hi, active volcanoes. Happy Thursday. Welcome to yoga. Before we get started, I want to share something with you because it was just very special to me, and I just want to share it with you guys because you might appreciate it. So last weekend, as many of you know, I was in ceremony, and I want to show you who I was doing ceremony with. So the shaman that I was working with is right here. And his name is Nino W, and he is from the Huni Queen people of the Brazilian Amazon. And he was just one of the most gentle, sweet, kind, magical people. And he just had such a presence over the room. And he guided us all through this beautiful 2-day ceremony. And it was just such a special experience and so healing and so powerful. And he was just such a good example of a gentle, compassionate leader that he just really inspired me. So I just thought I'd share his photo with you guys so you could see him. And today's class also is about being gentle, being compassionate, being kind on yourself. And it's about we're going to learn a few self-massage techniques at the beginning of class that I have found to be really effective for a lot of people that I've worked with. So hi hummingbird, yay! So as some of you know, I have been a clinical body worker, massage therapist, whatever phrase you want to use, for about 10 years now. Going on 11 years, a long time. And I love what I do, and I'm really, really freaking good at it. And I've been doing it, I mean, basically full time for almost 11 years now. So I've had a lot of experience, and I've seen what works and what doesn't work. And self-massage is one of those tricky things where some self-massage techniques actually help. Some of them just feel like you're rubbing your body and there's not really a lot of response from it. So I'm going to show you just some of my favorite techniques, and we're gonna start with a few techniques and then we'll work in some yoga, and I'll show you some other techniques while we're doing yoga, okay? The first couple techniques I want to show you are going to be kind of like our warm-up for yoga, okay? So we'll start with a little bit of breath, and then we'll work into those techniques. So just sit comfortably and turn on your breath. Turn on your ujjayi breath, inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Inhaling for at least a count of 4. Hold at the top of your breath for a few counts, and then exhale for at least a count of 4. At the bottom of your breath, stay empty for a few counts. And do that 2 more times. Make sure you're bringing that whisper sound to the back of your throat, that ujjayi sound. And let yourself start to get fully embodied. Just check in with yourself. Bring your spirit present within your body right now. Allow yourself to feel every last millimeter, every last cell in your body as you breathe. Okay. Now, you can start by coming into a half lotus or a shoelace position if you want to. If you want to bring some leg work into this. I'm going to come into a shoelace position. Shoelace means that one of my shins is stacked on the other one. Shins are parallel with the front edge of my mat. Both feet are active. So one ankle is directly above one knee, and the other knee is directly above the other ankle. The soles of the feet are lined up with the outside edges of your thighs. If shoelace is super painful or uncomfortable for you, or you feel your knee is all the way up here, grab a prop and bring the prop between your top knee and your bottom ankle. So you can do this to start, or you could just bring that ankle in closer and come into kind of a half lotus here, if that feels more comfortable. Or if neither one of those options feels good for you to sit for a little while, then just sit comfortably cross-legged. That's fine too. So this is more about the self-massage work, but I want to start working some of the rest of the body in there too. So keep your breath going. The first and the most important self-massage technique I'm going to teach you today is self-jaw massage. This is the #1 most effective form of self-massage that I've ever seen. So I have had countless clients over the years who have had TMJ issues. Has anyone here ever had TMJ issues? You can write it in the comment box, right? I'm sure most of us have noticed the tension in our jaw, especially if you've been to Forrest Yoga teacher training, or if you've ever been to a Forrest Yoga class and you hear your teacher say, relax your jaw, and you find yourself being one of those people that's just like, oh fuck, I can't relax my jaw, then you have shit going on with your jaw, right? All TMJ means is temporomandibular joint. It literally just stands for the name of the joint. So when people say, I have TMJ, yeah, everybody has TMJ. Everybody has a temporomandibular joint. Now, what is going on within your temporomandibular joint? That's the other question. So if you say I have TMJ issues, it could mean many different things. But generally what it means is that you clench unconsciously. You clench maybe when you're awake, maybe when you're driving, maybe when you're working. You clench in your sleep. That's a little bit more insidious because it's a little harder to undo patterns when we're sleeping, right? So if you clench in your sleep and you wake up with a stiff, tight jaw, you wake up with a sore neck, you wake up with migraines, then that is a problem. And so this technique has worked for so many people if you do it before you go to bed. You have to do this every night before you go to bed for at least 5 to 10 minutes. You can do it while you're lying in bed. And if you do this, if you dedicate yourself to this, and you do this self-massage technique every night before you go to bed, I promise you that your jaw will begin to heal, because I've seen it happen to, I don't know, probably over 100 people that I've worked with. I don't want to exaggerate too much, but I can think of, yeah, probably over 100 people that I've had personal experience with this working. Okay, so let's stop talking and start learning how to massage your own jaw. So hold up your 2 fingers, your pointer finger and your middle finger. These are your 2 most important fingers in massage. The thumb comes in a lot too, but as far as self-massage goes, these are good. You want to make sure the fingers are straight and that you press through the fingertips. You want to make sure that your nails aren't too long. And sometimes you'll flip the fingers over top of each other to give yourself more support when you're pressing in, right? So you don't want your fingers to get tired. You don't want to just use one finger because that just looks real dinky, right? But if you stack your 2 fingers next to each other or on top of each other, you've got a little more power and a little bit more longevity in your fingers. So it's good to work the jaw on both sides at the same time. And within the jaw, you have the masseter muscle, and you also have your pterygoid muscles. So they both have different elements to them, different heads, but we're not going to get to all those different layers today. Just know that the 2 main muscles that we're working with in the jaw is the masseter and the pterygoid. Pterygoid spelled like a T, like pterodactyl. So stack your pointer finger and your middle finger like this. Middle finger over the pointer finger. Bring those fingers to the corner of your jaw. Boop, boop. See that little corner right there? The masseter muscle looks like this. The fibers go in this direction, right? Then up here, you have your maxillary bone, your cheekbone. Between your cheekbone and the bottom of your jaw, you've got the pterygoids, and you've got other muscles as well. So the first one we're working with is the masseter, right here at the corner of the jaw. If you take your fingers and you just start pressing down with a medium amount of pressure and swiping in this direction, kind of the same angle up and down, you're going to be cross fiber frictioning your masseter muscle. Cross fiber frictioning the masseter muscle. All cross fiber frictioning means is that you're going against the grain of the muscle. So if these are the muscle fibers, you are rubbing against the grain. Cross fiber frictioning is one of the most effective ways to do self-massage. And you'll feel little strands of muscle tissue in there. You can even feel those little individual muscle bellies, little individual muscle fibers under your fingers if you're really skillful in feeling that. Keep breathing as you do this work, and you can do both sides at the same time. And this might feel really intense. And if so, just keep massaging. Now you can begin to work in some circular friction, just making little circles with your fingertips. It's normal to even start to feel a little bit lightheaded with this work, because you're bringing up a lot of sensation here. As you exhale, open up your mouth wide and stick your tongue out. All right, good. So now you know where the masseter muscle is, and you know how to massage your own masseter muscle. So you want to do that for at least 10 breaths when you're doing your self-massage. Next, we're going to work into more of the origin points of the pterygoid muscles, which originate right where the maxillary bone, the cheekbone. You guys have got really nice cheekbones here. Look at that. You can really see that shadow of a cheekbone there. Thank you, Grandma. You follow your cheekbone all the way back to where it connects to your jawbone, right? Right in that corner right there. Oh, right where your cheekbone connects to your jawbone. So before we were down here, now we're up here. Start to slide your fingers back along your cheekbone, and then just flop directly down off of the cheekbone and press in. If it's not super tender, you're not in the right spot, because this spot is going to be tender on everyone. Everyone who eats food and talks, which hopefully all of the people watching this video eat food and talk. Because that means you're using these muscles when you do those actions. So if you slide off the cheekbone and you press in and down, you can start again, doing some cross fiber frictioning, some circular friction. And essentially all you're doing with your fingertips here is bringing more oxygen and blood into this area, so that your cells can begin to repair themselves. Keep breathing. Let's do one Brahmari breath to this spot. All right, and again, you want to keep going with that for about 10 breaths. If you haven't switched the cross of your legs yet, go ahead and switch the cross of your legs, and whatever pose you were doing on one side, do the same pose on the other side. Now, for the next part, we're going to be pinning and stretching the pterygoid. Take your fingers, slide them all the way to the back of your jaw, press in right at that origin point. Then, with your breath, open your jaw up, open your mouth up as wide as it goes. Nice and slow. Once you get to that widest point, you want to move your bottom jaw from side to side. Pay attention to whether you're moving your whole jaw or if you're just moving your lip. So I'll show you what both of those things look like. Okay, that's just the lip. So be careful, because a lot of people just move the lip. This is what it looks like to move the whole jaw. And slowly let your mouth close. Okay, that one's going to be real painful for some people, so just keep breathing as you do it and work that 1 or 2 more times. Now here's the cool thing about this work, is that yes, it can be painful, yes, it can be very intense, but by pressing into these areas actively, what you're doing is you're sending a signal to your brain to release some pain-relieving chemicals, to release some oxytocin, some serotonin, some So all of the good feeling things to rush through this area and bring you some natural pain relievers. So at this point, you might be starting to feel a little bit of that yoga high, a little bit of that endocannabinoid release in your body, and that can be really good. So let's keep going with it. So, because there's a couple more points I want to go over for jaw massage. All right, so first we have the cross fiber and circular friction of the masseter muscle, the cross fiber and the circular friction of the pterygoid muscle, the pinning and stretching, right? Next, we're gonna work into the temporalis muscle. So everybody knows where their temples are, right? What most of us don't know is that, well, actually a lot of you guys probably know this, but is that the temporalis muscle extends all the way back into the scalp, all the way back under the hairline. Your temporalis muscle, if you take from here to your fingertips and you put this part, this line of your palm, line that up with the edge of your eyebrow, that's your temporalis muscle right there. It's big. And we contract the temporalis muscle every time we chew, every time we move our jaw and use our masseter muscles. The temporalis muscle is a synergistic muscle that works along with it too. So what a lot of people don't know is that if they have jaw muscle issues, they're also going to have some issues with their temporalis here. So take all of your fingertips, all 4 fingertips here, take them on the side of your eyebrow here, and then start to slide them back. So as you slide them back, you're starting to do some longitudinal friction. So you're moving in the fiber direction of the temporalis muscle. Now, what I want you to do is press down with your fingertips and move your skin with your fingertips. Don't just slide over the skin like this. It's not going to do much, but press down and start to pin the skin, pin the tissue as you move it around on your scalp. So feel, ooh, and if you press down with your fingertips, you can start, again, to feel the fiber direction and the individual fibers of the temporalis muscle kind of flopping and moving under your fingertips. Now, you want to remember that the muscle comes all the way down to right above the ear here. So another good way to start to find those achy, crazy fibers, and it might even be a little bit lower than the ear, is to slide back right over the ear, press in, and move your fingers up and down. Ooh! Ah! Ah! All right, start doing that. And you can go a little bit slower. You can start making little circles with your fingertips. Work them all the way up the scalp, all the way down to right below the ears. Keep going for a couple more breaths, working into your temporalis muscles. And as you exhale, just exhale through an open mouth with a relaxed jaw. All right, and then go ahead and bring your legs back to neutral, whether that's Baddha Konasana or simple cross-legged. And the last thing I'm going to teach you around the jaw and the neck, that this is all part of a bedtime routine. If you are working on healing your TMJ problems, all of this should be part of your bedtime routine. The last part of this is working with the SCM, the sternocleidomastoid muscle. The sternocleidomastoid muscle is this guy. It's the SCM. It's that big, meaty, ropey muscle that runs from your mastoid process, your skull, all the way down right to your collarbone. So that's your sternum. It actually runs from your sternum, sterno, cleido, clavicle, cleido, mastoid process. So when you hear these muscle names, all they're talking about is where they're connected to. Sternocleidomastoid. SCM for short. So the SCM muscle turns your head from side to side, but as you notice, when I clench my jaw, every time I clench my jaw, you see the muscle pop out, right? So again, we use this muscle every time we bite down. If you're clenching in your sleep, that muscle is going to be contracted the whole time. And so for people with TMJ issues, oftentimes you'll feel the SCM muscle, and it's going to feel a little bit painful too. Now, the cool thing about the SCM muscle that a lot of people don't realize is that you can actually just pick it up and move it around. You can just pick it right up off your neck and go like this with it. I call this chewing with your fingertips. So you can chew the muscle with your fingertips. And I'll show you what that looks like. So you take a deep breath in. So whatever SCM you're going to be working with, you want to turn your head toward that side. So if I'm going to be working with my right SCM here, I'm going to turn my head to the right. What that does is it brings the origin closer to the insertion, making the muscle looser and easier to grab. So as opposed to looking to the left, as I look to the left, I am stretching my SCM muscle. It's going to be tighter, it's going to be contracted, it's going to be hard to pick it up off my neck. But if I turn my head to the right, I can feel that long ropey muscle and then slowly bring my head back to center. Now I've got that muscle between my fingertips. I'm using both hands here, just one at a time, one SCM at a time. Don't go crazy, don't do both and choke yourself. And I'm just starting to chew the SCM fibers between my fingertips. Another cool thing, pinning and stretching, is turn to the cheek and the chin to the right, grab the SCM, take a deep breath in. Exhale, look left. Inhale, come back. Exhale, look left. And you can kind of lift your head up a little bit, start to feel that stretch. Watch out with the SCM, it can be kind of slippery. So you might feel it slip out of your fingertips and then you're just holding skin. So then just grab the muscle again and make sure you've got that long tubular shaped muscle in your fingertips. The closer you get to the mastoid process, the closer you get to the jaw, the slipperier it gets and usually the more painful it gets. So just hold on there. And you can just hold on and actually let your hand just hang. And slowly, slowly, slowly slide down the muscle. Oh, that's nice. All right, so let's do the other SCM. So if I'm doing the left SCM, which way do I look? I look left. Look to the left. Find that muscle that's nice and loose and soft. Grab it. Slowly look right. Maybe use both hands. And again, I'm kind of pinching it here, but I am using multiple fingers, multiple fingertips, so it's not too pinchy. Look to the left, grab it. Slowly look to the right. Let your hand kind of hang here, slowly sliding down the length of the muscle. Chew it between your fingertips and keep sending your breath to it. Slowly coming out of that. Oh, so you should be feeling pretty good by now, hopefully. Let's get our spines a little bit warmed up and work into some gentle yoga today. We're not going to be doing too much stuff because I want to focus on this yoga and self-massage today. That's just what I'm feeling for all of you guys, so hopefully you're cool with that. But we're going to do a little bit of warming up for our spines. So just bring your right leg out, left leg in, activate both feet. And you can bring the left foot by the butt if you want to, or heel by the groin, up to you. If your heel's by the butt, grab a hold of your left ankle. Take a deep breath in and lengthen up through the spine. Exhale, come into a side bend to the right. Inhale. Lengthen up from your sit bones to the crown of your head. Exhale, relax your neck and your jaw and feel how much more open they are. Now inhale and start to point through the right foot, reaching the toes toward the ground. Exhale, flex the toes back towards the face and reach through the heel. Inhale, reach through the ankle, point through the toes. Exhale, flex through the heel, reaching the toes toward the shin. And start making little ankle circles here. Inhale, release the ankle, the left ankle, and reach the left arm up for chest opener. Keep making circles with the right foot. And slowly come back to center. Use your hand to help your head up. And bring your right leg straight in front of you. Left leg in by the right thigh. Next self-massage technique is for your tibialis anterior and your fibularis muscles. And I'm going to point the camera down so you can really see what I'm doing. So for the tibialis anterior muscle, it runs along, let's see here, this might be a good angle. There we go. Tibialis anterior is the muscle that gets injured when people have shin splints. Tibialis anterior does the action of pulling the toes toward the shins. So if you relax your leg and then pull your heel back like this, you'll see your tibia, your shin bone, really pop up. That's because that's tibialis anterior. Next to your tibia, next to your shin bone here, it's this big muscle belly that runs all the way up alongside your shin bone. Now you might want to grab some kind of lotion or lubricant here, just a little bit for your fingertips. As you work this, this is, what I'm using is called Waxaline. I really like this stuff. It is a petroleum jelly alternative made with beeswax. It's really good for myofascial work and for deeper, kind of slower body work. It's less, still nice, it's natural, it's unscented. It's got a little bit of rosemary in it, which is really good for the skin and for the circulation. So you can kind of just like get a little bit on there. And now you're bringing your thumbs into the picture. So again, like I told you guys, there's only a few self-massage techniques that I found are really, really effective for people that actually work, and this is one of them. So tibialis anterior, if you've ever experienced what is known as shin splints, getting to know your tibialis anterior and how to work with it is going to be really important. So again, like I said, it runs across the top of the foot, the top of the ankle, and then all alongside the shin bone, the tibia. So if you bring your thumb in there and you stack your other fingers on top of your thumb and you start flopping from side to side across the shin bone, down towards the outer edge of the calf, like that, you'll start to feel, what you're doing right now is you're palpating, you're feeling for the muscle belly of the tibialis anterior. And you should be able to feel something there. Yeah, it may or may not be sore for you today, and that's okay, but I'm sure you felt this area be sore for you at some point in your life, right? So what I'm doing here is I'm using my fingertips of one hand to support the thumb of the other hand. And then, or you could put two thumbs side by side and just start to run them down along the outside edge of your tibia, all the way across your ankle bones. And really sink in. You guys see how my skin is turning red here? It's turning pink. Hopefully you can see that. That is a good thing. You want to bring some oxygen, some fresh blood into this area. And if you're just petting yourself, you're not gonna do any of that. So, but don't be afraid to really press down here. As you can see, my fingers, my hands, I'm using quite a bit of pressure, and it feels good. All right, now you can do, now that we've got that a little bit warmed up, is reach through the heel. So you're flexing through your tibialis anterior. Start down at the ankle here. Now I'm using these two fingers stacked on top of each other. Press down, take a deep breath in. Exhale, point through the foot and drag the fingers back towards you at the same time. Let's try that again. Inhale, flex through the foot. You're pressing down right at the bottom of the tibialis anterior. Exhale, point through the foot and drag your fingers up towards your knee. So you're contracting the muscle, and then, or you could do it with thumbs, then you're lengthening it. As you lengthen it and you pull through your fingertips, imagine it's like you're pulling a rope and you're massaging it and warming it up at the same time. This rope is stretchier. The more warm it is, the stretchier it gets. So flex through the heel, pin down with your thumbs, exhale, point through the toes and pull the thumbs back. Yeah, so right now you're bringing some length and some openness into your tibialis anterior. Now, fibularis and your peroneal muscles, you can hear them called either one of those things. These are all the little stringy muscles on the outside of your calf. And you can follow them down right below this knobbly ankle bone here. If you press down below that with your fingertips and you, really sink in and drag the fingertips back like this, you'll feel your fibula. So you've got in your shin, in your lower legs, just like in your lower arms, you've got two bones. You've got the tibia and the fibula. The tibia is the big main shin bone. The fibula is the little outer bone. So fibularis runs next to and underneath the fibula bone. Fibularis also can come right along with any kind of shin splint injuries. So what I'm doing is I'm just putting these two fingertips right under the fibula bone and dragging back toward my knee. Pinning and dragging. Pinning and dragging. And as you see, I'm wrapping my thumb around my leg to give me a little bit of extra traction there. That just helps my fingers stay in the right place. And so as you're feeling into your own leg, don't worry so much about whether you're on the right muscle, but just feel where's the most sore. Because most of us, if we're doing yoga, if we're walking around every day, you're gonna have some soreness or some tenderness in here somewhere. All right, and you can also do flex back, exhale, point and drag. Inhale, flex back, exhale, point and drag. Hi, Audrey. Inhale, flex back. Exhale, point and drag. All right. So we've gotten into the lower leg. Fantastic. Let's do the other side. Coming back into a side bend because we haven't done the other side bend yet. Right leg in, left leg out, or right foot by the butt. Inhale, grab a hold of your right ankle or just reach your right hand away from you if the foot is by the groin. Deep breath in, lift the chest up. Exhale, come into a side bend to the left. Now start to feel a difference between the two sides of your body. You've worked your right lower leg. You've worked both sides of your jaw and your neck. Let's start feeling into the left leg. What does it need today? As you work your breath into your body, send it down your left leg. Start making little circles with your left foot. So pointing through the left toes, flexing the toes back towards the shins, and then making little circles with your ankle. And now come into chest opener. Just reach the right arm up. You guys can't really see me. Hi, Hi, kitten. And exhale a little mini lion's breath. And slowly come out. Use your hand to help your head up. Now bring your left leg in front of you, right leg into the side, and let's do the other leg. Tibialis anterior and fibularis self-massage. Now, do the same thing we did on the other side. Grab a little bit of lotion or oil or whatever it is that you're working with today, and get a little bit on your fingertips and start to warm up your leg. Just rub it a bunch. Work your fingers over it like this. This is kind of like a basic Swedish massage technique. If anybody's ever had a Swedish massage, that's your basic kind of massage where they do this kind of stuff, right? And so this is good for getting it warm, you know? It feels good. Might feel a little bit silly, but it actually works. And you can start, just some gliding. So this is called effleurage, if you want to know what the term is. Gliding or effleurage, getting everything warm, and you'll start to feel some friction. Then let's find the tibialis anterior on this side. So flex through the heel. You'll see this shin bone right down the middle of your leg pop up, and you glide your thumbs and your fingertips right next to the tibia into the tibialis anterior. Now this one on me is a little tighter than the other side, which is really weird because I've been having knee problems on the right side, so I don't get why this one's so much tighter, but oh well. So start just riding your fingertips, pressing down with a fair amount of pressure, right on the outside of the shin bone, all the way down across the ankle joint, and you start to feel where the most tender places are. Don't be afraid to sink in. You might even feel a little bit of crunchy stuff under your fingertips. Now, let's start working with the pitting and stretching. Inhale, flex the foot back through the heel. Exhale, point through the foot and drag the fingertips back towards you. Start over again. Inhale, flex through the heel, press down through the fingertips. Exhale, point through the toe, drag the fingertips toward the knee, right alongside the tibia. Let's try that again. Inhale, flex through the heel. Exhale, press down through your thumb, through your fingertips, drag the hands back toward the knee. And you can stack, you can do two thumbs. As you guys can see, I'm doing one thumb and the other fingertips on top of that thumb. Now I'm gonna just press my hand down on top of this hand and use my fingertips, but use the weight of my other hand to help me press down. Inhale, flex through the heel. Exhale, pull back and point through the toe. Now, if there's one spot in particular that feels tender, just spend a little extra time there. Yeah. Woo. All right, and Fibularis time. So Fibularis, remember, is on the outside of the calf. It's alongside the fibula, the small little lower leg bone here. So tibia, fibula. Find your fibula. You can start with this outer ankle bone here, press underneath, and then lift, press in, and then lift up through your fingertips and drag back. All right, let's press in, drag back, press in, drag back right under the fibula, and you'll feel these little kind of stringy muscles on the outside of the calf here, just responding to your touch. Oh, feels good, you guys. Feels really good. Lamb Chop is watching me with the cutest look on her face. She's just the best dog in the whole world. All right, now inhale, flex through the heel. Exhale, point through the toe and drag back. This is gonna feel a little more intense. Inhale, flex through the heel. Exhale, point through the toe, drag back. Inhale, flex the heel. Exhale, drag back. Do that several more times, working with the muscles themselves as do the self-massage. Oh. All right, and finish up. So right now, check in with what you're feeling in your lower legs. Breathe into it. You should be feeling a really delicious kind of release. Some really like kind of gooey, warm, sweet feelings in your lower legs. And just take a moment to breathe that in and let it soak in. All right. And the next technique we're going to do, you want a tennis ball or a lacrosse ball or one of those little body balls for this next technique. And I need to find where ours is. So it's just going to take me 1 second. I'll be right back. Okay, so get a ball like this. This is a yoga tune-up ball. You know, they sell these balls for a lot of money, but you could use a tennis ball. It works just the same. Or even a lacrosse ball is going to be more similar to this texture. You don't want to use something really hard like a baseball or a golf ball. That's too hard. You want it to have a little bit of give, all right? And it could be about this size. It could be a little bit bigger. You could even have, you know, they sell these in all different sizes. So what we're going to be working next is the piriformis muscle. Piriformis muscle is in the butt cheek, and it goes, I'll show you, so you've got your sacrum here, your triangular bone at the base of your spine, your sacrum. The piriformis goes from the edge of the sacrum where the SI joint is, the sacroiliac joint, and it goes across the butt cheek. Across the butt cheek, just like that. Attaches to the top of the femur, and the sacrum is, or the piriformis muscle is often where you will feel a burning sensation in your butt that travels down the back of your legs. And the reason why is because the piriformis, it acts like a strap over the sciatic nerve. So it's a long, skinny, it's a pear-shaped muscle. That's why it's called piriformis. And it becomes a strap for the sciatic nerve. So if your piriformis is tight and it starts to get tighter and tighter and tighter, it presses down on the sciatic nerve, hence sciatica. A lot of people think sciatica is this incurable disease or something. Really all it is a symptom of a tight muscle. And all you need to do is relax that muscle, open it up, bring some blood flow to it. And this is a really great way to do it on your own without having to go to a body worker. And it works. Like I said, some of these things work, some of them don't. Hi, Sarah! Yay! Okay, so in order for me to give you a good view of how to use this ball, I'm going to just get my tripod a little shorter here. If you're just joining, grab a ball. A tennis ball, a lacrosse ball, something kind of squishy. And we're going to be doing some piriformis massage. So, this is how it goes. So you lay down, grab the ball, bring it under your butt cheek. Now, when you first start, you don't want to put all of your weight on top of this ball. You want to keep yourself lifted a little bit and start feeling in. Start letting the ball feel its way into your gluteus muscles. This might feel really intense at first, because most people have got something going on back here, especially if you're a yoga teacher. And you just kind of let it roll its way in. Breathe as you do this. And you side to side. You can make little circles and slowly let it sink in, maybe a little bit deeper in certain spots, and you'll feel the spots where you need the opening the most. You'll feel the spots that are the tightest. Now, come into back release pose. So my ball is under my left butt cheek, and I'm bringing the left ankle up over the right knee. What this does is it helps open up the piriformis a little bit more. And then you can start to put a little bit more weight on the ball. And keep, like I said, keep a lot of weight, just not all 100% of your weight. So you're pressing through the right foot so that you could lift up like this at any moment if you need to. Okay, so you're not resting your whole butt on the ball. But oof, you're rocking from side to side. You're letting the ball sink into some of those places a little bit deeper, and you're breathing. So one of the other muscles, oh God, that you might need to do a little work on in here is gluteus medius. Keep breathing your way through this. And then switch sides. Bring the ball under your other butt cheek. Again, both feet are on the floor now, and just start rolling nice and lightly over this butt cheek. Let yourself get acclimated to it. Feel into which areas on this side might need a little extra attention. You'll feel the ball coming right up against your sacrum, and that whole line right on the edge of the sacrum is where a lot of things attach. It's where a lot of people might have scar tissue. If you have been a skateboarder or snowboarder, a BMXer, or if you've had children, oftentimes there's a lot of impact with those sports, or roller derby too, there's a lot of impact with those sports, and a lot of impact and opening and stretching in that area if you've had children, and if you've given birth naturally and pushed a child through. And so what happens is the SI joint is not really a movable joint, but it's there so that when you do have impact like that in your hips, your hip bones don't break, but they'll separate a little bit there in order to allow the child to pass through, or in order to absorb the shock of the impact of falling off a bike or on your roller skates. So when you do have an injury like that to the SI joint, what can happen is you can create some scar tissue right along the edge of that joint, right along the edge of the sacrum. And that scar tissue, you can even straighten the leg that's on top of the ball here if you need a little extra weight on there. So the scar tissue will start, the scar tissue is a bitch because there's no blood supply to it. It's just like white sticky stuff. It's just like glue. So it keeps fresh oxygen, fresh blood from getting to that area. And it actually makes that whole area weaker. So all the muscles, all the attachment points of the muscles that are around the sacrum will start to just get a little bit weaker, a little bit easier to injure. Not fun. All right, when you're ready, cross the right ankle over the left knee and start. Oh yeah, so now you'll start to feel that opening up a little bit more. You'll start to feel a little bit more sensation happening in the butt cheek here. Let yourself find one spot and breathe into it until it gets a little bit less intense. As the intensity starts to let up a little bit, move the ball a little bit more over, and then you'll feel it crank back up again. Keep breathing. Try not to resist it. Let the ball just sink in, nice and gentle. And slowly come off. Ooh, that's nice. All right, and Guess what, guys? It's time for Shavasana. All right, so I'm really glad that you joined me for today. I feel like that was what I needed. I hope that you guys got something good out of that. I'm going to leave you for your own Shavasana today. So if you're watching, just go ahead and set a timer for yourself. Get comfortable. If you need an eye mask or a blanket or some bolstering, some support. But right now, what I want you to do is, before you go into Shavasana, check in with your own body. Close your eyes. Let yourself feel what you've created for yourself. What is the state change that you're feeling, that you're experiencing right now in your body? You might feel this kind of like this wash of warm, soft happiness. That's your endocannabinoid system. That's that yoga stone feeling, that runner's high feeling. This is you accessing your own internal pharmacy. This is you going to your internal pharmacist self and saying, hey self, write me a prescription for this. And then your body's just like, okay, here you go. You don't need to take anything. You don't need any outside substances. It's all within you. And like I said, I just shared with you my 3 most favorite, most effective areas for self-massage. So use these as often as you can, because this feeling that you're feeling right now, you just created that for yourself. And it's actual medicine. Soak that up. Know that you can create your own medicine. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.